are you doing? Are you guys all working out so far with this distance learning? See Glenn. Okay, so
yes, I'm here.
okay, great. So just a couple of ground rules. I don't have Lori's sign behind me, but so when we're going through things, if there's a presentation, we can mute the microphones and just use the chat feature up in the right-hand corner to add in questions or make comments. If there's something to come back about, if you've got something that you want to input verbally, then unmute your mic and come right in. Okay. So
All right.
how are you doing, Glenn?
Okay.
What are you doing so far as your distance learning?
I'm sorry, Pat. He'll have to unmute.
Oh, I like that sound effect. Okay.
Before we left, I directed some students as where to look for music lessons online.
Okay.
But that's about it so far.
Okay, so one of the things that we'll be doing, or we should be doing this week, if you haven't done it yet, is to set up a Google Classroom. And there have been a great bunch of tutorials about that. I'm going to just, I don't know if you've seen this thing. I'm going to try and share my screen and see if I learned anything from going to those tutorials. And now I'm going to go to this schedule. Have you seen this schedule? Better
Only
question
what
is, can you see it?
Hey,
Can
Pat,
you
you're
see it
not
now?
presenting.
What?
Pat,
Can
you're
you
not
see the
presenting.
schedule now?
I don't see a schedule.
Hey,
Okay.
Pat, you're not presenting.
Okay, let's go back then.
That's all right. We're all learning. Click on so Pat's doing this, folks.
I'm here.
Click on present now.
Okay.
And then a box is going to come up. And you click on the little thumbnail of the screen.
Okay, present now.
And then present now. And then you have to, on your computer, you have to go to the tab that you have on.
Okay,
that you
so
have
this
what you
is
want to
my
show.
entire screen or a window?
So you want to go up to the correct tab that you have that open on. Yeah, I'm sorry. You want to show your entire screen.
Okay, so I'm there.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to click on, okay, so now I'm going to say share this.
Yeah.
No, click on that. Okay, and now share that.
But what you need to do then is whatever
And
you're
then go
showing.
here.
Okay, so right now, perfect. Great. You got it. Yay.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So this is the teacher's learning schedule set up for the week, and you should have received this somehow by email, either from the union or from the people downtown or from Lori. But if not, I can send this to you. I can send this doc and link it to everybody. But you can see every day there's different types of learning going on. So
Hey,
there's
Pat, I'm going to go ahead and link it in the chat.
Okay, great.
I'm actually going to link the e-learning website so that people can also see the descriptions. So hang on just a second.
Okay. So there is this whole big thing at the top, as you can see. What they've got, we've got introductions to Google Classroom basics. There are the EdTech office hours that we've talked about on our emails from 10 to 11 every day. There are different office hours by subject area, and we're in ours right now at the music grade 4 to 6 office hour. This afternoon from 2 to 3, there will be something on Flipgrid. There's stuff for Seesaw Basics, which is not necessarily for us, although if you check it out and it's something you want to use, it's certainly available. But this is to get us ready, because after the spring break, which is next week, we're going to be required to be doing online learning with our students. So the biggest part of that is going to be to set up the Google Classroom. Let me just pull up another Google Classroom thing here. And come to this and go here. So can you all see this screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is I set these classrooms up for Stewart School because I'm teaching there. So it's basically I've got the whole band for the 4 different grades, and then I've broken them down into instrument groups for each one of those bands. So there's a way, once you, let me back up. So in order to get this to my students, I didn't have any student information. So I sent it to the principal, who sent it to the grade level teachers. And then they took the codes for the whole band, which you can see. You can't see codes here, but say if I pull up 7th, 8th grade band, there's a little class code right there, okay? So that would be the class code for that band. And if they give that to the students can go into Google Classroom and go to where it says to join a class. So if they're in the other page with all the classes, there's a plus up here. And so if you click on that, it says join a class, or as a teacher, you can create a class. So if you're going to create, that's how you would make your Google Classroom for your students. If you're going to join, you click that, and that's where you would put the code in. So the students would do that to join your class. Does that make sense so far? Maybe?
Yes, I think you sent me a code too. Did you?
I don't think I sent a code, but
or it was a code for something.
This is how you would go ahead and set up your classroom.
Right.
So you would go to Google Classroom and do that plus sign and create a class. So if you're going to create one, you would get this template where you would name it, you designate a section, subject, and a room. You could just make up living room or whatever room you want to do for that. And then once you've done that, you would click create, and that would then give you something that looks like this. And if I go to one that hasn't really been used too much, I've got students in there now though.
Hey, Pat, can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
This is Laurie. I'm asking for Jane. She wants to know why you broke up the middle school bands into sections for the Google Classrooms.
Okay. So what I've done with that is I broke it up so I could give different assignments to the instrument groups. So maybe I want the trumpets to do a certain thing, and I can put that under the trumpet one, and they all have the code to that. And in the main class, I'll say trumpets go to your classroom, and then you can work on that. And then if they want to give me, like I'm going to ask if they can somehow upload a video or some picture of them playing or something as just documentation, they could put it into the trumpet thing. And then the main class, that way everybody's not working on everything, but it's more differentiated. Don't know that you have to do that. That's just something that I did. So I'm going to take off my presenting thing. I'm going to stop right now.
And there's a question from Joan about Clever/Zoom. So Joan, you can ask that question. I'm not really sure this is the right place to get that question answered, including from me. I don't know if Bertha would be able to answer your question. Why don't you go ahead and ask us your question, and we'll see what we can do. And if we can't answer it, it's a really good idea to go to the EdTech office hours, which are every day at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Sorry. My question about Clever and Zoom is, I know that Zoom bombing happened. So it said that we have to access Zoom through Clever. However, as elementary music school teachers, we don't have a Clever account. And yesterday during the tech hours, I was told that you weren't really planning on setting up Clever accounts for us, and I didn't know what that entailed. So I was just hoping to be able to get Clever.
So I think that you can get into Clever. Bertha, are you there?
Yeah,
Can you
I
answer the question?
think you might have missed it. I think Francie had actually asked that you email her once you talk to Pat, and she would be able to set things up for you.
Okay.
So I would still recommend that you do that, F Cananiac or e-learning, if you can't spell Cananiac, or remember how, and just explain to her what grades you have. Have a discussion with Pat as to how you might want that set up to facilitate that for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Also, Joan, I just want to note that the Zoom bombing thing will not go away by just setting up through Clever.
Oh.
There's still issues, but there are some settings that you can put onto all of your meetings so that you don't have a Zoom bombing problem.
Okay.
I actually will be linking what I presented yesterday about video conferencing, and there was a whole page on Zoom, like Zoom settings that you need to set. I'll be putting that up on the e-learning website later today.
Cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
So does everybody have that link to the e-learning? Do you know how to get to there?
I'll go ahead and link it.
Okay, great. So questions, so Glenn, we know that you're just going to be getting started. I know some of the rest of us have already started using their Google Classrooms or getting them set up. Does anybody have you run into any snags, or there anything that's getting in the way of reaching out to your students? Feel free to chime in. Well, I guess we've all got it going on. So I know, Christine, you just got it started. You got some help from Lori in getting that going. Have you been able to include your students?
Yeah, I have about 43 students. I believe it's 43 that I keep getting more every day. So I have 43 classes, or sorry, 43 students, but I am currently still missing quite a few. So I have reached out to teachers and principals, and I've also sent out 2 reminds, one to the parents' emails, another one to their cell phones. And I got some, but interestingly, a lot of them who signed up for Remind have not yet joined the Google Classrooms. So I don't know. Some schools are a little bit better, more populated than others, and it's just a wait and see right now. So.
Okay, understood. Well, that's great. Have you been able to put any content in there for the ones that have signed up?
I have tons of content up, and I have students already participating, already turning work in, commenting to me, and for the ones that are there, I think it's going very well. So, 42 is not a small number, certainly, but
No, it's great.
So.
I'd be curious to see some of the assignments and things that you've given out. It'd be great if you could share those.
I've basically, in a nutshell, I've assigned things in the book, and I explained to the kids how to install the software so that they could play along with the tradition of excellence. I also included that link. I think it was, I don't know if it was Lori or somebody that gave us that little video about how to do it, how to install it with the code.
Lori, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. So I went ahead and put that video in as a how-to, in addition to my short little explanation of how to do it. And then I also put a lot of YouTube videos in various categories. I have one section for the beginners with several videos on how to read music. Some of that I already taught them this, but there were, 1 or 2 stragglers here and there that were a little weak on it. So I included those. I also included some videos on rhythm. I included technique videos for each instrument, sound production, how to make a sound better, and things like that. All the things that I might give them little pointers on in class that they wouldn't necessarily be able to get at home, or in case anybody forgot. There's a video on how to put the reed on for clarinets. I
Great.
also included a bunch of play-along videos I found on YouTube, both for intermediate and advanced, where they show you the music, the line of music, and there's a little line that trails along so they can tell where it is. And then before each piece, the video shows them the fingering and what the note looks like on the staff for all the notes that are used in that song. And then it has each one has a nifty little accompaniment track, so the kids can play along with the video. They learn how to play each little tune, and then by the end of the video, they can play along with it.
Great. Very cool.
And then
Thank
I
you.
also uploaded some short little performance pieces so they can hear a professional playing their instrument, what it sounds like in different styles, like a slow piece, a fast piece, a jazz piece. And that seems to be really popular too. I think that's important.
Okay. So while we're talking, there's been some chat things coming up with about creating a classroom for the teachers. And
So let me
there's also a link
explain
for
that a
the
little bit.
e-learning site.
First of
Go
all,
ahead.
yeah, one thing I want to share with you guys is that it is possible to have co-teachers. But what I was talking about specifically in the chat is that you can create a classroom where you guys are all co-teachers, but there are no students, okay? And what you would do then is you could use that space to collect lessons that have worked within Google Classroom. And then what all you would have to do is copy from the master. It's really easy to do this. Copy from the master and put it into your own classroom. I mean, I'd have to walk you guys through this, and it's going to be, and my dog is barking. So it's going to take more time than what I have right now. But that is definitely something that we can make happen.
Okay. I can follow up with you on that, Lori. Okay. So I think what else? Anybody else? Let's see. Eric Lim, you've done some work. Let's go and talk to Eric for a minute. Eric, unmute your mic and talk to us.
Hey there. Oh,
Right.
yeah, so I'm pretty much kind of on the same level as Christine right now. So I have about 45 students that I've been working with over the last couple of weeks, and same thing, more join each day. I've been reaching out to the regular teachers and the principals, but a lot of them, they've been having the same problem with trying to connect with the students that I haven't been able to. Like some of them, they haven't even heard from their students since, the closures started. So most of my kids, though, they're on Remind. Some of them I still talk to through Class Dojo. So I'm still able to, at least message them, even though not a lot of them all read it. So just getting there. So what I've been doing for my classes is pretty much, for intermediates, I've been meeting with them 3 days a week, and beginners, I've been meeting with them 2 days a week. And really what I've been doing is I've been working, out of the book for the most part, giving them different exercises and walking them through it. And then what I have them do is I have them post a video of themselves playing it on Flipgrid by the end of the week. And I keep all that material. I keep other materials on Google Classrooms as well. And
Okay.
so far it's been going pretty well.
Well,
I'm
that's
just
great to
hoping
hear.
for more inclusion.
All right. Outstanding. Outstanding. Who else do we can talk to here? Let's talk to
Okay, I'm going to chime in again because I can't shut up.
be the guest with me.
So just so you guys know, Eric talked about Flipgrid. Flipgrid is excellent for music classes. If you want to check it out, there's a Flipgrid training today at 2 o'clock. It's on that schedule. The other EdTech coach, Darcy Long, is going to be teaching that, but I'll be there as well. You should definitely check out Flipgrid. Devin Halcomb, who teaches middle school. I think he's at Helms. He's amazing with Flipgrid. And what's great about that is it actually just videotapes the kids straight from there, and it goes straight to Flipgrid. You can make it private so that you're the only person who sees it. But what's really wonderful is you can see them, using their hands. What are they doing right or wrong? So check out the Flipgrid meeting. Thank you, Bertha. Bertha just put in the link to the Flipgrid training, which is happening today at 2.
Cool. Thanks, Lori. Very important tool. Let's go and talk to Jane. What have you got going? Jane Magid. Well, maybe Jane's not there. John Lundgren. Just unmute yourself, please. And
Hi.
oh wait, never mind. Jane's coming up.
Sorry,
Here's Jane.
I clicked the wrong thing to unmute myself. I have Google Classrooms created for everyone, and a couple of really basic assignments for the elementary beginners. I wrote up something about how to use your band book efficiently. Essentially, I mean, we all use it, so we know that you have to memorize the color-coded bits at the top and be able to play the test line at the bottom. So I gave them a procedure so they start with that and then go back and do whatever lines they need to do when they can't do the test line right away. And then I gave them an assignment for a few tunes to learn. But it's not very techy. And then for the intermediates, I did something similar. For the middle schoolers, I put up some videos, mostly just to keep them engaged. They're mostly entertaining. Oh, and the other thing is, after I asked that question about Kiosk.com, Lori figured out how to get us signed up. She did the test case and sent out that great narrated screenshot download thing. So I've got that all out to them. And it seems like a bunch of my Fairmont kids have downloaded it, but not so much at Vera Vista. So mostly I've been working on trying to figure out the best tools to use and mostly trying to create kind of an infrastructure for my teaching, and it's not populated with masses of content at this point. Although I've been searching for masses of content and trying to get a handle on the tools. So that's where I am now.
Okay, great, Jane. That's
Sorry.
great work so far.
Excuse me, Jane, what was that test case software or site that you were using that you said the Fairmont kids have checked in on? The name of it?
Our band book, I think Christine brought this up in a previous
Got it.
music teacher meeting. Our band book has its own interactive software program, and it's perfectly aligned with the curriculum we already have, but we didn't really have a good way for our students to access it. We weren't clear that they would be able to do it on their Chromebook, so Lori tested it out on a student Chromebook and then created a video for the students showing them how to log in. How to sign up.
Cool. All right. So we're getting close to the end of our little half hour. There's something else that we got today, and I'm going to share it with you in just a second. I want to find it first. But we got this whole phase 2 of the distance learning, and it's a document with a lot of do's and don'ts and so forth that the district is sending out. I don't know if you've received that yet. I'm hoping that you have, but otherwise, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. Just give me a second while I play with this thing here. try to be a presenter again. If you do it twice, you're better than the first time.
You got it, Pat. I believe in you.
I like that confidence. Okay, so now I want to go to not the teacher schedule. I want to go to, we go here and look for this document. Okay, so now here we go. Can everybody see this document? I can't see you, so hopefully you can say yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm seeing it, yes.
We see it. We see it.
All right. So this is
I'm
the
not
phase
seeing
2
it.
plan, and I will send a hard copy of this out through your emails to each of you so you can see it. But it talks about the generalized thing, the general theory of action that we're following. It talks about lesson planning for these days. Even though we're not with our kids, we still need to have those lesson plans. And then it breaks it down by levels. So it has one for preschool, which wouldn't apply to us. TK, the first grade, which also wouldn't apply to us. Elementary, 2nd to 6th grade, would apply to us. And it talks about the classroom teachers and what they're expected to do and the time that they have. So they're looking at about 3.5 hours daily of instructional time and a couple of hours of prep time. And we would adopt those same measures, basically. Now, it's a little bit ambiguous in that it goes down to physical education / VAPA, and it doesn't really say music at that point. It gives some links there for people to go to. I think that's more or less for classroom teachers to use, since we're probably the only discrete discipline that they have. There's an example schedule for teaching content, and I think that, again, is for classroom teachers because it lists the VAPA to be like 2 times a week, basically. I questioned that, and we can work with our teachers and principals to set up whatever schedule we want in terms of what the traffic will allow. Probably a reduced hour, a number of minutes based on that reduced teaching instructional time, and then also we might be able to somehow approximate the schedules that we had before. That would be a discussion though with your site people. Down here it gives you the idea of what kinds of things that they're asking us to do. And since we're creating our own Google Classrooms, we don't have to be co-teachers in a Google Classroom, but we would still, use the classroom teachers to get the links out to our students. And then it goes on through the high school, expectations, etc., and then special ed and English learners. It talks about assessment and grading, etc. Now for elementary, since we don't actually, or we haven't been anyway, giving grades, that would be something, if somebody was going to ask you to do it, it would probably be the U or the satisfactory, unsatisfactory, or outstanding type of a grade. But so far, nobody's been asked to do that on our level. For those that are doing middle school also, of course, the grading things would apply to you because you're doing quarter and so forth grades. So that would be something to read through and to know about this week. This is all gonna go into effect when we come back from the spring break on April 13th. So at that point, the expectations are going to be live, and we're going to be accountable for reaching out and working with our kids on a daily basis. I think that's fair. Basically, we're getting paid anyway, right? So we should do our job. But that's that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to quit sharing this screen. And hello, Peter, help me to quit sharing the screen. I'm going to go back here first. Now I'm back, and I'm going to take that. Okay, so I'm stopping presenting. Does anybody have any questions at this point about any of that? Oh, thank you, Bertha. Questions at all about that document? I'm going to send it to you right after we're done here. None whatsoever, okay. Well, we're at 1 o'clock. If anybody, unless you have something else to bring up or talk about, we're okay then to sign off. But I'll stay around for a little bit if you need to talk or you need to share something.
I just have a quick question.
John, yeah.
I see the schedule. So like there's 2 Google Classrooms, different days. Is that just the same material, just another section of it?
This is Laurie. I actually did the first section today, and that was like the basics, and I'm continuing it tomorrow. Because that's something that just happened. I wasn't able to get through everything. So I'm going to have to continue it tomorrow. I am going to be posting, though, all of the information, and I'm hoping that it's going to be self-explanatory enough so that you can walk yourself through it.
Okay, I was just wondering because I see all the different sections. Are they supposed to be the same one repeated, basically? Like for
not necessarily. You actually have to, if you go to the because we had like very little space on that sheet. If you actually go to the website, there's a little more information in terms of what every class is.
Okay.
And Bertha has put a link for the website in the chat box at about 12:44 p.m. She posted that.
Hey, Pat, I have a question.
Okay.
I know we're in the scrambling together. Can you not hear me? Really? So it's my closer. Can you hear me better?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There
Not hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. Maybe you can repeat it if I can't get it loud enough for Pat. Do we have any kind of idea about performances? Are we just like trying to survive April at this point?
We are going, so at this point, the lockdown or the shutdown is extended till May 1st, and the county just sent something out about May 3rd. So we're kind of following the county health guides in terms of that. Once we start on the 13th, it's going to be school basically, and so they're looking for assignments and grading and the whole 9 yards online, basically through your classroom. For the middle school and high school folks, it's going to be grades entered in the whole 9 yards. Elementary, they're going to be doing their grades also, but traditionally we haven't been putting elementary grades into their report cards that I'm aware of. So we wouldn't be, I don't think that would apply to us. Your site principals might ask for that. I don't know.
I'm asking about performances, not about grades. Like
performances, there won't be, as far as I know, we won't be having any performances.
Okay, so we're not going to try to cobble together a virtual one.
Unless school opens and we're back in classes and everything's fine again, there won't be performances. I keep seeing all these things online where people, do these remote things and they all sing together or they all play together. And,
yeah.
I wish I knew how to do that. I wish I knew how to get all that and put it together and synchronize it and put it out there. For some of the folks that are doing the Google Classroom or the Zoom meetings, they're having it like a recital where they'll have a one thing and each kid will take their turn playing their part or playing what they do and one at a time. Because as I understand it, when you try to do it en masse, it doesn't work. There's too much breakup and all the bandwidths are fighting with each other. So one at a time for recital purposes. Or again, I think the Flipgrid thing that was brought up is great, where a kid can videotape themselves, and at least you get that going, and then you can share or not share depending on how the student feels about it, how you feel about it.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, other questions at all? Anybody? Anything?
Oh yeah, Pat, I got a question for you.
Oh, boy.
So have you thought about, like, if the school closures do extend until the end of the school year, have you thought about how we're supposed to collect all the instruments?
I've been thinking about that every day, and I don't have an answer. That would have to be if the sites are not opened, or if they open them one day every so often for things, and it might be an instrument collection day where all the people at a given site bring their stuff to their school, and then I don't know, we get the district warehouse people to go around and pick those up and bring them in. That's not a really good way to do it, but I don't know. So I'm going to have to discuss that with people that are smarter than me, or have more authority anyway. Okay. So that's been on my mind. I think about that every day, and I fret about it at night and all of the above. But that's something to be worked out, and we'll see. It's just the end of April or end of March right now, so we got a month or two to sort of wind our way through that stuff. Any other stuff? Any other questions? Anybody? Okay, well, so I will send you those documents. I think that Bertha has included links for the e-learning page, and also for something else there up at the top. There's a couple of links in there, so go ahead and look through there and get any links.
Just another plug for that Flipgrid meeting that's happening later today at 2 o'clock. I know everybody's pretty much burnt out on these video meetings, but yeah, the Flipgrid meeting link is there. The e-learning page for the district is there. And the training schedule. I'll do that one right now.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So take a second if you want to go ahead and copy those links, or click on them and then save the page, whatever you'd like to do. I think you're going to be in good shape.
Well, that looked weird.
And then when you're ready to go, you can go. Many blessings, guys. I know it's a tough time, but it's something that makes us incredible people. You know, I sent out a thing about student reactions and parent reactions to this whole homeschooling thing yesterday. That was pretty funny. And I really liked the note that the one kid wrote and said, "It's not going good." Talking about mom trying to figure out what the assignment was and go through it and her frustration. And he started it with, "It's not going good," and he ended it with, "It's not going good." So I like that. If you didn't see that, take a look at that email. Once again, stay in touch on your district email. Almost every other day or every day, there's something that's coming out from Mr. Duffy. There's a community message that goes out, and that'll keep you up to date on what's going on and the changes, and anything having to do with our instructions and so forth, I will also be getting out to you. So email is key right now. Okay, let's go be incredible. I like that, Jane. Way to go.
You're well on the road. It's looking good.
Okay. Oh, Joan has one of an Israeli mom cursing a clarinet score. Okay, there. Way to go. Send that one over, Joan. Let's take a look at that. All right. Anyway, God bless, folks.